Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
Stormy weather. Making leaps and bounds through advocacy. Spreading joy and awareness for all to see. There's no community without you and me. We stand on the shoulders of giants. We build each other up. We expand our networking and resources. We never give up. We stand for what is right. We never go down without a fight. The African proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child. I say, it takes a village to become a community. So community, please stand up. We are waiting.
Two, three, four.
I was born by the river in a little tent, and oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. afraid to die, 'cause who knows what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming. I know, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. And then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. And he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Whoa, there've been times that I thought, whoa, I would last too long. But now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, yes it will. It's gonna change. It's gonna change. Oh, yes it will.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Hey y'all, it's your man Lloyd Spence, and look, you can find all of the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA and NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, fights, and even next season's NFL futures, all at BetOnline, because BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. So, very easy. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to the website today and use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just go to BetOnline. It's where the game starts.
Popcorn World.
Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in a bag of a can. But to make it round the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
What's going on, good people? What's going on? Happy Memorial Day to you all. Let me get right into it because I've been thoroughly fussed out, damn near cussed out over this. So let me go ahead and get it going. Go ahead, White Organ. You ain't gonna let me finish my sentences? I'm just saying you ain't gotta be so aggressive. I get it. Wow. Well, clearly White Organist is here, as you can hear, and he's ushering in the service. We want y'all to have a good time tonight, so please grab your turn it down. Can you turn it down a little bit? Just a little bit. Thank you. Grab your church bands, grab your Bibles, grab your tithing envelopes, and let's have a wonderful Memorial Day Talkin Noise. Amen, amen, and amen. You know, you bringing a lot of hostile energy tonight, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jeez. I don't understand.
Can't find a good organist nowhere.
I'm just saying it ain't my fault he having a baby. He gonna fuss me out because he didn't get his whole check. His whole check last week. But he didn't play for like 2 or 3 days.
Should have brought your ass to work.
I'm just saying, that ain't our fault. That's you. You didn't come to work.
Well, we did kind of tax him to get the cat. We did tax him a little bit to cash his check, though. So you know. We come in the slide in. You know, we tax to cash his check. Hey, Kenyatta, Miss Noise, how you doing?
Hey, Kyrie.
What's going on?
Trying to feel better. Mr. Noise bringing out the whip.
I wouldn't say I'm bringing out the whip.
A little bit. Wow. Hurry up and get on screen. Wow.
That's not exactly how the last few minutes of our lives have gone. It's been more like, I'm going to get on.
I ain't gonna lie. He bringing out the whip totally different than what you said.
You know what? I don't find that surprising at all coming from you. I don't.
Well, listen. As long as the whip is out, what difference does it make?
I don't know how to take that. I'm not sure. Okay, that was interesting.
I think you do know how to take it. I think you take it quite well.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Oh Lord,
this is not.
Are we talking about the same thing right now?
No, clearly you're not.
Okay.
You took a turn to the dark side.
All right. Y'all, Ryan, you and Mama Noise talking amongst yourselves for a second. Hold on a second.
What I'll tell you.
Well,
Must be getting himself into some trouble. Had to be.
I don't know. You know, people tend to call in the middle of a show, like, you know, my phone, you know, maybe he'll answer.
like you not at work, but people gonna call you.
Right. You know. So this is Memorial Day. How you celebrating it?
Chilling at the house.
Chilling like a mug.
It's my day off. I am going to rest for my day off. I don't plan on doing much anything.
I try to rest on my day off, but I keep, when you're self-employed, it's always something to do. And you're like, oh, I can go ahead and take care of this. And then you look up and it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night and you're going, hey, you know, at least when you're in an actual job, that the 9 to 5, if you will, not an actual job, but the 9 to 5, you go, oh, I got to clock out. But when you are self-employed, you like, oh, let me go ahead and take care of this. Let me take care of it. You don't get to shut off. You don't
clock out too early.
Right. You don't clock out when it's your own stuff. You know, I mean, you could, but then you'd be like, man, I could go ahead and take care of, and I could go ahead and take care of, and all those I could go ahead and take care of continue to happen. You like, dang, how did I?
Yeah, we call them long lunch breaks. We take those 4 or 5 hours off from actually working. Just long lunch break, sit out, hang around, do stuff you gotta do, and everybody go to bed, start back up.
but you do tend to lose track of the days. I'm gonna tell you, I got up and was like, oh, yesterday I need to go check the mailbox. And I went to check the mailbox and came back. I said, Lord, why you didn't tell me today was Sunday? I didn't feel like I needed to tell you that. I figured you already knew. I promise you, these days
They run together.
They're running into each other. I'm going, okay, this is Sunday. This is wow. I really dropped the ball with that. Okay.
Hell, I woke up this morning thinking I had to go to work.
Oh wow.
I was like, oh shit, come upstairs, did my normal routine, and like, I can't go nowhere.
Have you ever had that happen? Have you actually got to the place where you left the house? You know, usually black people don't, they don't get that far.
I've done it a few times. When I was going into the office, leave the house, head to the office. Hey, this about come back around, come back home. Yeah, I've done it.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I usually somehow something, I'm gonna give God the credit because I can't give credit to nobody else. Did I stop in the middle of something and be like, something I'm supposed to do, something I'm supposed to do, or I know that I need to remember something and be like, man, if I'd have got all the way over there to the school, I'd have been hot as fish grease. Because see, sometimes like here in this school district, when you're dealing with independent, the actual school district and you're dealing with charter schools, they're supposed to both be on the same page. Like Hanaya's school was like, have a nice summer on Friday. But on the website, it says something about the 31st. And then it says, something about the 1st. And I'm going, I don't know why they said that. Because according to, field day on Friday, teachers come to school with shorts and t-shirts on. I don't have to be a scientist to figure out that that's their last day.
Yeah, our last day was what, last Thursday?
Yeah. And Louisville Thursday. Okay. Well, I think my old principal, I saw her online, one of my Facebook friends, and she was like, Lord, we made it. We made it. Tomorrow's the last day. Hallelujah. I'm like, okay. So clearly their last day was Friday. PISD. Now, I don't know. It should be a, blanket, everybody ends at the same time. But clearly that's not the case because I think it had I think certain districts, I don't think all the districts close at the same time.
Probably not in big ass Texas. It's like 5, 7, 8 states in that damn thing.
Oh no. See. That part is true. Because it's super massive. But I mean, the fact that I don't know if we all start at the same time or stop at the same time, that boggles the mind.
Right. I don't know how we got to this conversation because I was away.
No, I asked Skyrie how his Memorial Day was going and how I really lost track of the days because I thought
you've been saying let me get the mail for the last 2 days. Like, ain't no mail on Memorial Days and Sundays.
No, I didn't do the one on Memorial Day. I knew that. I just thought yesterday was Saturday.
No, it wasn't. Yesterday was Sunday.
I might try to figure out how did I misplace my glasses? Boy, I tell you.
Uh-oh.
Well, maybe you don't need them. Maybe you're getting your sexy on today. How about that?
Last time I couldn't find my glasses, they was on top of my damn head, and everybody laughing at me because I was trying to find my glasses, and they were sitting up here.
That happens.
I hate when that happens.
It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen many times to other people. I haven't seen it happen to any other people. Well, listen, like I said, we're here to have a good show today. Hope y'all are having a great Memorial Day. We want to have some fun, bring y'all up to speed over all the stuff y'all missed. We want to start with condolences, man. We want to start with condolences over the passing of Tatiana Miller, which is the daughter of Master P. We don't have a lot of details other than that we believe, according to Master P's Instagram post, that there may have been substance abuse and mental illness involved of some sort. But the details beyond that are sketchy at best. Not sketchy in a negative way, of just that we haven't been given a lot of information. And you know what? As long as there's no criminal activity, we don't need a lot of information. They are grieving privately as a family, and Master P said they are overwhelmed with grief for the loss of his daughter, and they're asking for privacy and prayers, love, and support. And he encourages everybody to talk about mental illness and substance abuse within your family, because it's real, and it is real. It is very real. And so if you can have these discussions in your family, you need to do so. You need to not be afraid of it. You need to not shy away from it, but you definitely need to embrace it and engage those conversations before rather than later. So we send our thoughts and prayers to the Miller family. I was going to say the P family, but it's the Miller family. And hopefully they can begin the healing process in this.
Interestingly, I had this conversation with our children, and they were like, Azari was like, I don't know if he was aware of it. And I was like, I am. I did hear about it. And she was like, man, she just had her, comments about what she thought about it. And I said, sometimes we think that money is the answer to everything. And sometimes the more of it that you get, the further away from your children that you get.
Well, I think that's true, but I'll also say this. Money without preparation to receive it is oftentimes the challenge. So you got Chad confused, Mama Noise. You got Chad thinking this morning and afternoon. Shame on you for passing that on to everybody like you did.
How you gonna blame me?
This is what a joke was, Mama Noise. You know that.
Stop with the jokes, man.
Man, I will never stop. I will never stop with the jokes. But all jokes aside, money is more of a magnifier than we realize it to be. And
that's verbatim what I told the girls.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you have not reconciled certain aspects of your life prior to the acquisition of money is not going to make that better. Now money is just going to give you access and options that you're probably not prepared to deal with. And so, this young lady had options. I'm sure dad and mom were giving her money, and with that money, it sounds like she took it, and she's openly talked about it. I think there's a show she was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Growing Up Hip Hop or something.
Oh,
a reality show or something like that. And she's openly talked about her substance abuse issues. So we're not sharing anything salacious here. We just talking. But I think money will sometimes give you access to stuff that you're not prepared to deal with. And so, when you haven't reconciled your pain, when you haven't reconciled your heart, then now you're trying to find outlets to express how you feel, or to deal with how you feel, or to numb how you feel. And it sounds like she did just that. So, but not a judgment here, just not really passing a judgment, just just saying, man, we've been praying for our babies. And then a lot has gone on in the last couple of years. So
you also gotta find you find out who your real friends are.
Facts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you don't realize the importance of that.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times they don't understand the importance of having those a real friend, true friends.
But
not those money friends. You know, the ones that only around because you got money.
But we flippantly throw around. Let me tell you, this is heavy because I was just watching this. I don't know. I kind of was looking for something new to watch and stumbled upon this. You know, this show. It's not a documentary, so I'm just saying that in advance. It's and it's like all of these people that were affluent, that were wealthy and everything. They had a certain circle, but when they started inviting people outside the circle, it's like. And it's not meaning that you can't have other friends, but there's just some people. I mean, like, you know, some NFL players that, you know, that like they come into this windfall of all of a sudden they come from the hood and now they got, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And now you trying to bring the hood into the affluent neighborhood because you're trying to bring everybody up.
But that's not necessarily her story, though. I wouldn't imagine that's her story. Like,
no. I'm not saying her specifically. I'm saying because, like, you know, now Pete comes from the Calio projects. He always talks about that. But you know, sometimes you try to bring it all with you. You like, okay, because your daughters or your children be like, okay, I'm gonna keep the same friends I've always had. And some of those friends ain't ready to, you know, change their life, or they like, you know, we're gonna keep living the life we live in and try to take it with you. I mean, that's what a whole lot of.
I don't know if that's her story. I don't know if that's her story. Well, you don't know.
I'm not saying it's her story. I'm saying that sometimes when you come into it, a windfall of money, sometimes
I know what you're saying, but I need you to hear what I'm saying. I'm saying to you, this might not be a case where it's the windfall's fault. It sounded like P and his ex-wife have had a lot of problems a long time. They got divorced 10 years, or they separated like 10 years ago when she was like 19, which means they were having problems all along. Probably. You know what I'm saying? Most likely. So this might not be indicative of the environment that they come out of, other than to say that maybe P got his issues and the wife had her issues and they passed those issues down to the child. Maybe. I don't know. Wait, hold on. But we don't know that. We
don't. But his first album was Mr. Ice Cream Man.
What does that have to do with anything?
It wasn't ice cream.
What? Okay, Mama Noise. But you're making a lot of assumptions in this without having the facts, and I'm saying I don't know if
keep my assumptions to myself.
Well, maybe you should, because
the thing she's leaning towards making sure you have the right support group around you, and a lot of times these celebrities don't get the right support.
Is that what you meant to say? You just took the long route.
Because you receive it from Ron and not from me, so yeah, that's exactly what I.
Because you didn't say that. You never actually said that.
No, but look how you didn't question that. You was like, "Oh well, yeah, Ron is right."
Because Ron cut the field. and got right through.
No, wait a minute.
Whereas you was like,
just because it came from Ron doesn't mean it was right.
It ain't got nothing to do with coming from Ron. Oh my!
Thank you, Sora. I got to get some estrogen up in this camp.
That ain't got nothing to do with estrogen.
You right, Ron. See, why ain't you say it as nice as Ron?
Ron cut the field and was like, this is what she's trying to say. And I didn't hear it. So I was like, my fault.
I heard you, Mama. I knew where you were going.
Thank you, Kyrie, because this.
Okay. Oh Lord, now my noises. Do you do that to pay me back? You get your mic echoing and stuff. See, as soon as I muted her, the echo stopped. I unmute her, and now the echo.
You need to talk to production. They need to give me something.
I'm talking to production right now, and it's not going well. All right. What was I going to say? Oh, anyway.
You know what, Chad? Didn't nobody ask you, Chad. And Mama Noise took the back roads. Kind of foolishness. Thank God for you, Tara.
Ooh, we're a little tight today. We're a little tight. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Okay. Speaking of tight, I wanna kind of bring some balance to this Uvalde, Texas conversation, because I will not lie to any of you tonight. There is so much that has happened with this thing since the shooting that it took us some days. For sure, it took me some days to kind of sort through all of the everything. I'll give you an example. One article of information that I found had 5 different writers that were tied to the article. It was like what we know about the gunman, the motive, and how the weapons were used and obtained and all that stuff. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff. It's a lot of different things that are out there, and some more credible than others. So we've just been trying to sort through wade through all of the information. There's been a lot of craziness tied to it. So we're trying to kind of work the timeline a little bit to help everybody to understand what happened. So best we understand to this point, last Tuesday, this young man showed up at the or was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday.
Mhm.
Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or Tuesday?
I don't know. Ron knows.
It was bad no matter what day it was.
Don't do that, Mama Noise. Don't be rude. You're being rude as hell right now. It was Tuesday. Okay.
So I was right.
Yes, you were right, dear.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Last Tuesday, this young man who acted alone shot his grandmother in the face prior to attacking the school. He left the house roughly 30 minutes before the attack. She's a 66-year-old woman. As of, I think, the other day when this was produced, she did survive the attack and was airlifted and is being treated in the San Antonio hospital. All right. The gunman took the grandmother's truck and crashed it just outside of the elementary school around 11:30. Then he took his AR-15 style rifle and a backpack full of ammunition and went to the school. They said he was wearing a plate carrier, but not ballistic armor as originally reported. Also, police were not pursuing the gunman before he crashed. Governor Abbott said on a press conference on Friday that he was angry because he was, quote unquote, misled about the police response to the shooting. He said that information he provided at the press conference on Wednesday was a resuscitation of what law enforcement had told him in a room beforehand. Which since then has now sparked a federal investigation of the events itself, because there seems to be a lot of confusion as to what took place, what police officers actually did. This is where it gets really confusing and convoluted. Some say the police officers stood outside and waited to go in. Others say a few of them went in to get their own kids, but wasn't really interested in getting other kids. Others say they knocked out windows from different classrooms and pulled kids and teachers out of those classrooms while the shooting was going on. Others say that it appeared that the officers were afraid to engage the shooter at all for fear of their own lives. Governor Abbott was told initially that there were plenty of officers inside the school from the earliest minutes of the shootout, and as many as 19 officers from local and federal forces were in the hallway most of the time, which turns out to be not true. Which that makes sense because if there were 19 officers in the hallway, surely one of y'all could have shot him. So it wasn't making a lot of sense the way some of this story was unfolding. So we're finding out that maybe a lot of this was part of the problem of why so many lives were lost. It said Mr. Officer Director of Public Safety, Texas Department of Public Safety Director Stephen McCraw said in his press conference that from the benefit of hindsight, where he's sitting now, of course, it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There was no excuse for that, to lie to the governor and to also not engage the circumstances. They said hundreds of rounds were fired in the first 4 minutes. McCraw also provided information that a teacher left the school to get her cell phone when she heard the nearby car crash and shots, but then as she re-entered, propped the door open. The gunman had been hiding behind a car nearby, so he was waiting apparently to get in, and I think they believe that's how. Let's see, a school officer, resource officer was not on campus. The school resource officer was not on campus when Ramos came onto the school property. He's clearly fired. McCraw said that once they had heard the 911 calls, then the resource officer sped back to the school. But that officer believed there was a teacher out in the parking lot that was a suspect at the time. So go ahead.
Why did the teacher leave the door propped open? I didn't get that part.
I guess I don't know. I guess the teacher went out to get, I don't know. Maybe the teacher went out to get the cell phone, heard the gunshots, and was like, I'm gonna leave the door open so we can get out of here. I don't know. It doesn't.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
this is irony that I was just having this conversation with our kids this morning, and I said simply that as a teacher, I remember the one time I forgot my ID. And I never forget it because that's the only way I can get in the building. And I remember walking around the building, trying to find a way to get in the building, hoping somebody was coming in, hoping, and I went to one part of the gym where they had propped open, like, because they know you got to have ID, teacher's ID only, that can get you in and out of the building. Other than that, it's a fortress. Right. Somebody had it cracked open because they didn't want to keep.
They didn't want to go around to the front.
Right. They want to go around to the front. Right. So they're like, okay, I'm gonna prop this open. So either somebody has it propped open because they're like, oh, let me run to the car real quick. I don't want to go to the front. Even though you can still get in on like two sides of the building, but you still got to have your ID. But if you like, oh, my purse is in the classroom and my ID is in there, but I'm on this side of the building and I don't want to go all the way to the other side of the building.
Okay.
So let me prop open the door.
So I don't want to, because this is where, like I said, the timeline is a little weird because they're saying by 12:15, a Border Patrol tactical team was on the scene, still under the command of the school district police chief. This is despite the fact that several 911 calls were made throughout the ordeal by children that were in the school complaining that kids were hurt or dead and that the shooter was still inside. Intermittent shooting continued during the ordeal, which officers did hear, McCraw said. At one point, Ramos reportedly shot at the classroom door towards police, forcing them to move further down the hallway. One 911 recording showed that a child in one of the locked classrooms was on the phone with 911 for an extended period and requested police to be sent in, saying 8 or 9 kids were still alive. At 12:50, more than an hour after the ordeal began, officers obtained keys from a janitor, entered the room, and shot the suspect.
These individuals waited for a key?
Well, I mean, if you can't get in, you can't get in, Ken.
I'm trying to figure out. So you actually walked up to the door, you unlocked it and got in?
He just said somebody shot at the door. So you like, but I bet if I go back and get this key, I'm coming in.
So, like I said, there's a lot. And again, we're still sorting through information with all of this, because some of it is very, very shaky.
It's so many holes in these stories. It's not even funny. Everybody is CYA. It is unbelievable where they're like, okay, I know we said previously that there was a shootout with the assailant before he got to the building, but that turns out to be false. And then I heard that, you know, we took some kids out the window. We was trying to get them off campus as quick as possible. What about the ones in the classroom? Okay, but then they were talking about the little girl on the phone. She done called 911. She just got the phone for her birthday like the week before. She's calling them like for help, and it's like dialogue. What the dialogue? Y'all outside. Who's the person that say, I'm gonna shoot whoever shoots?
Slow down, because that's not a bad thing. If she's on the inside and she can relate to them a clearer picture on the inside, then that's what she's trying to do. And she's 8, so you know you're getting the best information that you can possibly get. You know, in a tense situation. So I'm not gonna fault them for that part. The problem is I don't understand the whole keys thing. Something is clearly wrong with this timeline, because that's a lot of time. And then, like Ron said, to be able to open the door with the keys, when a minute ago you said you shot at the door and that drove everybody back. So did he run out of bullets, or I don't know? It's a lot. This whole thing leaves a lot to be desired in understanding.
That's some. Yeah, like the one thing I do. I mean, one part, you know, getting kids out through the window, I think probably was a smart idea. If you had an opportunity to start pulling kids out, and if that's the only way you can get them out safely,
right? Knowing
that he's in the school and those, because those doors are locked and they're barricading the room, but start busting out all the windows to start allowing those kids to get out. Don't go to certain classrooms if it's
when some of them kids go to school there.
Yeah.
Well, they went to the classrooms probably where they felt like they could have a safer.
Yes, start getting them all out. Yeah.
Well, listen, about as of an hour ago, the probe from the Justice Department has begun. They're going to start a federal review of all of this because, like I said, the timeline is not right. Like there's a lot missing in this timeline of clarity and understanding. And the hardest part of this is, unfortunately, is that in order to clarify the timeline, man, they're gonna have to ask kids.
And if all these senators don't think about this and listen to what you said that the one kid did who called,
I mean,
get the police here because somebody was shooting and killing kids.
I couldn't do it. I was trying to listen to that one call.
If that doesn't make you want to change shit, nothing in the world ever will.
Facts.
Well, I don't know if anything in the world ever will, bro. Because it's just, I don't know. To me, this whole thing is really, really. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than this.
If you think the 911 call was one that you just couldn't, at least for me, it was overwhelming. I just couldn't listen to it. But the little kid that did survive, that was in that classroom, said the only reason why he survived was because he found some blood of his classmate, of the classmate that was dying, and wiped it on himself to make the guy think that he was dead, think she was dead.
So think about the time, the day that we live in, that your elementary school kid has to know, I need to call 911 and tell them kids are getting killed.
Well, the challenge of the timeline is not the 911 call. The challenge of the timeline is from the time the guy got there to the time that they fired the last shot to kill him.
Yeah.
What was going on?
No, I'm saying, but the day in the life our kids have to live in now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you for sure. I was just answering Tara's thing. The challenge is figuring out why it's taking so long.
Yeah.
They got a lot of answers. They got a lot of explaining to do, man, because that's what you paid to do. I mean, I hate to say it, and nobody likes to think of it that way, but that's, as a police officer, serve and protect. That's what you're paid to do.
Yes.
And it sucks that means many times that you are putting your life into harm's way. But this is one of those times where you're putting your life into harm's way. And now I'm gonna say this too. I don't think the officers that, and I hate to say it this way, but for explanation purposes, I think it fits our conversation. The officers that failed that day, they're gonna have a hard time living with this.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're gonna have a hard time living with this. Hey, Corey, it's not the timeline. It's how can a school official tell city police or kind they could not go in? And see, that's also part of the narrative as well. There's confusion about who was in charge. Why could you go in or could you go in? I don't. Listen, there's a lot that needs to be worked through in this whole situation, and I don't know, man. We are nowhere near a final explanation with any of this, which is one of the reasons why we titled the show today "Make Sense" on this. In case you missed it Monday, because none of this makes sense. Like when you listen to it, you just go, "What?"
Even the question of like who was in charge, a school officer, a school official, police, at least in most states, the police usually have more authority than a local school district.
Well, I got news for you, Ron. I'll tell you exactly who's in charge. The guy shooting.
Facts.
Well, yeah.
He's in charge. And guess what? We're taking our cues from him. So if he's in there shooting kids, we're gonna the training should tell you eliminate the threat.
Facts.
Forget it don't matter what a police chief said or this said or that said. Go eliminate the threat. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't see where the superintendent is going to tell the police, the sheriff, you can't come in my school building.
Facts.
Right. There's an active shooter in your school. Yeah. Why would he say don't go in? None of these, in the words of my pastor, none of these details are adding up at all.
Yeah.
And these niggas are clearly lying. So, not to make light of a dark situation, but
the chief has just one time.
I mean, I'm baffled because the more I'm listening, I think about every day that I've been in the school district and I go in the building and our school has been like a fortress. No ways in, no way, everything is on lockdown and the kids are continually being taught, okay, if a gunman comes in, this is what we do. How do they, we have our doors locked so nobody can just walk in the building randomly and all this stuff we have in place. The one day that somebody left the door open.
Well, but I don't know if that's, I don't know how, that's what they're saying. That's how they're saying he got in.
But now you don't know if that's a fact.
Right. We don't know. None of that is, because see, if that's true and this school is, first of all, I'm stunned that there's no video. Let's start with that. Okay, let's start with the fact that in 2022, there's a school out here that doesn't have video. So
I'm not shocked with that.
I'm shocked.
I am.
Little hick towns, little small towns, little schools. I wouldn't be so shocked with that.
Well, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that there's no video anywhere. There is a video that was released today, but I'm not sure where it came from. And I think it's on the outside, not on the inside.
I know they had a video of him going into the building from the back door. Now, if they got cameras on the outside, yeah, that's more that. If they had no cameras on the outside, I would be shocked. But like cameras on the inside, the cameras on the inside don't shock me at all.
And see, the cameras on the inside not being on the inside does shock me because most schools are up to date to that play. But maybe this is the one of those schools that is not. I don't know. But we're a long way away from clarity in this situation.
But even think about it, dude. Our kids are living in a day and time that their school is now literally it already looked like a prison when we was
right.
Yeah.
It was already it already mimicked a prison. And everything you did was like being a prisoner when you was in school. Now we're adding cameras, more locked security doors, more automated doors for kids to go in. What's the difference between a prison and then what our kids are going to be going to?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I tell you what.
It's safer to keep them at home.
I was gonna say, I bet you this. I bet you homeschooling is about to go up dramatically. People can stop putting their trust in the government if the government is not gonna do what's right.
And a lot of kids can get the same education over the computer and stuff.
You can. There's a lot.
Some kids can't. I know some kids can't, and I think that's you're going to see a big split between kids who are actually going to be in the building versus kids who don't have to be in the building.
I'm gonna tell you something, Ron. The families that can afford to do it, I think you're going to see more and more of them take this route because it's just, man, that ain't what you send your child to school for.
Yeah, you don't want to wake up every morning and pray that your kid's going to be fine at school. That's the safe haven. You expect just like a fight with a bully or stuff like that. You expect that as kids, but constantly trying to figure out, if your kid is actually going to make it because another knucklehead is bringing a gun to school, or
oh my God,
some kid decided that he's mad at his teacher, so he's going to come in and shoot up school. That's too much risk.
Right? Is you like, come on.
When you're doing drills on active shooting, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, that's our update as we understand it today. As Cuz walks into the building. First of all, let me just start by the fact that Cuz is incredibly lit today. Like this lighting situation is fantastic today, Cuz. I have to give you your
all that indirect light from their window. Shit.
That is not necessary. Why are you holding fingers up higher than others? Like all the fingers should be at the same base level. There should not be one finger that's higher than another. I see what you're doing, Cuz. I see what you're doing. Unmute you. You're trying to hide behind the mute.
Good morning, Mama Noise. Good morning.
First of all, it's not morning. It's evening. You're as bad as Chad. It's evening.
Mama
Get
Noise,
your bearings straight, man.
Mama Noise, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Praise God.
She waiting on that. She's waiting on that setup.
Ron, you doing all right? You all right, co-pastor?
Oh, it's an off day. I am doing great.
Oh, praise.
I'm about to pop me a few more little mini bottles. I'm really doing good.
You'll really be doing
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Glory. Mr. Noise,
I'm feeling better. I am better. So much better.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
It was a rough weekend, though. I slept from Friday night to pretty much Sunday morning. Like I was off and on sleeping, but I was not feeling good at all. This full disclosure.
What happens, Mr. Noise, is you can't come off of that marijuana all at one time. You got to take your time off of that.
I don't
Y'all,
think
y'all be doing that old CBD around there. Talking about. Ain't no THC in it. Y'all, and then you go cold turkey. Y'all asses be
that is not what happened. I think my situation is a combination of a few weeks of lack of sleep combined with dramatic weather changes here in the DFW. But it all came crashing down in a massive way. I was. Ugh.
Well, you can't.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Oh man, it's better to blow my ragged ass mind. I mean, I'm telling you the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I mean, the family didn't come over this weekend, did they? The family didn't come today, then, did they?
Family was here this weekend.
No, today you got a day off from them today, right? They ain't show up today.
They left this afternoon. They gone.
Oh, they stayed quite a bit of time.
Oh yeah, man, and shit, hell, we drank so much liquor over here.
Yeah.
Oh, hot dog.
See, I kicked all mine out on Sunday. Y'all niggas got to go. This is not a hotel.
I was tore up from the flow up drunk. I mean,
were you drunk? Like you were full on drunk?
Listen here, I had to ask for forgiveness.
Wow. That's not good.
Ron, I was drinking that Remy Mart. You know that what? I think you pronounce it Tercet, T-R-C-T, Tercet.
For Remy?
Yeah, man, it's a step above 1730.
Special blend.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Ooh, that shit was so smooth. Before I knew it, I was on my ass.
Yeah, it really
going into the glory cloud, but not toward heaven. It's more of a horizontal move, not really a vertical.
Yeah.
It was like, where are we going?
It's been a minute since I had that.
Like, feels like we're just going in a circle, round and round.
So I don't usually drink it unless I'm at a restaurant.
Yeah, that's the old fancy stuff.
Yeah, I got to buy that on business trips.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time, cuz.
Yeah, we showed up there, man. Yesterday we fried some fish around here. Boy, I thought I was back in the M.I. cricket letter I.
There you go.
Humpback.
Was it grease that you had bought in Mississippi and just kept it all these years, or was it? I'm trying to understand where the connection point was when you said you. No, I'm just asking the question.
Was it catfish?
The fish and both the catfish and the brim came from Mississippi, not the grease.
Okay. You just talking about the experience itself. I got you.
Mississippi don't raise grease or.
I don't know how y'all. I don't know what y'all export import of natural resources are. I don't know.
I bought that peanut oil here in Texas.
Okay, fair enough. There it is. Tyra wanted to know what that drink was again.
Remy Martin is Tercet.
Yeah, I call it.
Let me see if I can find it on the internet.
Yeah, it's about 115, 120 a bottle.
Yeah, man, we were taking it down too. Ooh, that shit was good.
You look happy. I ain't gonna lie to you. You look happy and pleased, as if life has led you down a road, unexpected but pleasurable all at the same time. Is what
I was stumbling, and I wasn't sure if it was an alcohol or a vertigo, but I know I wasn't balanced right.
You didn't know if it was the alcohol or the vertigo.
You can tell the difference depending on how you feel. Do you feel really sick or do you feel really happy? That pretty much.
I was gonna say, at what point during the weekend did you realize which one it was? Was that upon sobering?
That porcelain guy will make you change your mind.
All right, I was just gonna, even though they haven't paid us yet, I'll
some good fried fish do sound good, man.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's it right there. Like I said, it's about a bill 20, bill 25. A bottle.
All right.
We had 1738 too, but we went to that after we got drunk off the Tercet. We went to that after.
Oh yeah.
That was called the cheap stuff.
When you start high, either you gotta go higher, or after that everything just normal. You can't tell the difference once you get through there.
I got you.
No, Remy Martin's not cheap liquor now. I mean,
oh no, Remy is very expensive. It's not very, but it's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Now, I had a cousin here that was drinking Jack Black, and that's rock gut liquor. That's that old cheap shit.
Nah.
But you know she cheap anyway.
Ain't nothing wrong
Why
with
she gotta be cheap? Why she gotta be cheap, man?
You're cheap drunk. You know cheap drunks when you see them.
That's true.
I don't know no cheap drunks.
Drink any old thing.
Right.
Hey, watch yourself. If you got good taste to it, I might be good on it.
I mean, I asked her. I said, you know, whatever you want, whatever don't matter what you want. I want to get you some good liquor. We're gonna be drinking all weekend. What you want? She said, well, if I can have whatever I want Jack Black. I said, shit, you aimed real high on that one, didn't you?
No, but she ain't had no other experiences. So that's when you got to coach her. You know, some players don't know they're supposed to take the shot because they ain't never took the shot.
I guess you're right.
Frozen like a mug.
Sometimes you gotta take. She got that Jack Black Reserve. Is that what it was?
No, this is regular old. I don't know about no reserve. This is regular old. Hold on, I got the ball right here. Hold on.
Yeah, they got a Jack Black Reserve. They got a. Unless you're talking about Jim. Unless you're talking about Jack Daniels Black, but that's a little bit different.
I feel like we have reached the ratchet part of our show, so we're gonna get into some ratchet-ish once Cuz get back. Mama Noise, what you doing over there?
Then again, he also could be talking about blackjack.
That's just straight Jack Daniels. Oh yeah,
it's just JD. That's just JD.
Yeah, that's just Tennessee whiskey.
I think it was $15 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's $15.90. It's $15.99 on a good day.
Okay. Well, speaking of ratchetness, there's been some beef this weekend. Unbeknownst to me, there was some beef this weekend, and I didn't understand it when I heard about it. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't understand it much more now. All I know is that when I got hold of it, as my grandmama would say, it started with a rant by Monique.
Because at what time did black men start attacking black women? What kind of real is that? That's a bitch. I feel sorry for D.L. Hughley's family. I feel sorry for his mother wife. Because how do you suck like a coward?
So apparently, DL and Monique, maybe more Monique than DL, were beefing over, I guess, okay, so they're on this comedy thing together.
Mm-hmm.
On a tour of something, or they were on a billing of a show or something, and she just went off and talked about how he didn't honor the contract that they had and something else, and she just went off for about 11 minutes straight, and was running around the stage, calling them all kinds of bees, and you heard the quote. She said, I feel sorry for his wife because his family, because how do you suck the penis of a coward? And I mean,
she went in.
She went off. I was like, well, what is this about? And so DL calmly and in very DL Hughley fashion went to Instagram and posted a picture of the billing, and the billing said, "We gonna be at this show hosted by this radio station and starring DL Hughley, and also featuring Monique." And he said he put her on the show. He said against the better judgment of everybody on his team saying, "Don't do it, DL. Don't do it. It's not worth it." And he said, "I'm gonna do it because I'm trying to support black women and blah blah blah." And there's like, this gonna blow up in your face, and sure enough, it blew up in his face. And so, her allegations and claims was he I don't know, it was a lot. She had a lot to say, like he embarrassed her on the radio, and it was a lot. It was a lot going on with all of what was going on. And so I don't, again, it's one of those he say, she say thing. But one part that DL did say that brought it to my attention, or brought the moment to a real place for me, is that he said beforehand, well, now he posting all the receipts. Jesus, now he got he done posted the contract.
Now you got DL who's about to go hard.
Wow, he has posted the whole contract, and it's got
the one that she that totally exposes her when she was trying to say.
Right, and it's in black and white. All the information of what was supposed to take place is in black and white. So it's kind of, I don't know. But anyway, the one thing that he said that caught my attention was he said, beforehand, it was Tyler Perry's fault. Then it was Oprah's fault. Then it was Charlamagne the God's fault. Then it was Steve Harvey's fault. Then it was Lee Daniels' fault. Now it's my turn. And he said, at some point, I can't be everyone else. It can't be everyone else. It's you.
You know, at some point you got to take blame for something.
Well, I just with her, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. She doing a lot. She does a lot, man. And it seemed like it all started right around the time she got. And I'm not trying to blame her husband, but right around the time she got married, it's like this whole new Monique emerged, and now it's like. I don't know, man. She out here, man. She out here in these streets doing a lot. So
yeah, it's crazy. When he put the contract out, there's not much you can say now.
And people keep trying to give her a chance. Like I know 50 just hired her for the BMF show.
A role, yeah.
A role in the BMF show. So he's trying to help her to kind of get her footing back, right? And it's like, but is he next?
What did the contract say that countered her state?
Well, she tried to say it wasn't fair, and but she never really in the stand-up said exactly what was the problem. She just said he didn't treat her right, or something wasn't right in the contract, or maybe it's supposed to be billing together. I don't know what it was.
Well, at one point in her 11-minute rant, she said she was the headliner and she was supposed to go on last.
But that's not what this says.
That's not what the contract that he put on her. But in part of her 11-minute rant, she did say that she was supposed to be the headliner.
It says artist to be the highest paid artist on the show. This is DL Hughley. Artist to have approval of the lineup and running order of the show. The lineup will be DL Hughley closing, Monique and Ada Rodriguez following, or whatever. And then so it's very clear. It's not complicated.
Well, she took the being an opening act as offense, if I understand it correctly. Like, in other words, don't put me out there like a big headliner concert. Let's just say somebody like I don't know, the Isley Brothers. Okay, so you got the Isley Brothers as the headliner, and then you bring out somebody like, I don't know, like Mindless Behavior, like some Rooks, and then you say, wait a minute. I was told that I was the headliner. She said,
but just because somebody told you, did you read your contract though?
She said the contract that she saw.
Well, why would they give out two different contracts?
The one that she said that she saw and read had Monique.
Right. And somebody else said that also that the tickets, you know, like in other words, you can't change the tickets at the last minute. The tickets are the tickets. You can't say, you know what, I'm going to switch around the names and see what happens. It's the same tickets from the beginning of, you know, the people start buying the tickets. So she's like, I done been in this industry all this time. You may be the king of comedy, but I'm the blah, 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 blah. And it's like, only until I read his post on Instagram, it really was crystal clear when he was like, all these other people's fault. It's like, man, is it really
it's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's fault on the negotiation. It's always somebody else's fault you're not getting all your money. It's always somebody. I'm just gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna step away from this because I don't know what to think about it anymore with her. I really don't. But prior to her getting married, it seemed like all her money was straight. After she got married and got the Oscar thing, she been having problems ever since.
With the young, because he's like a younger dude, ain't he younger?
I'm just saying.
See, Lord, you been nice. Ever since she played that role way too good, everything's went downhill.
Is that what D.L. Hughley said? It was life imitating art imitating life or something like that.
She played that role way too good, and nothing's positive since she played that role.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, ain't nothing been positive since she played that role.
But I'm serious. After I read his Instagram post about it, and I was like, that's right. Look at all these other people that's been blamed, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it's like, okay, is everybody wrong?
You can't blame the lady to give out free shit all the time.
I mean, you want to listen. I'm honestly at a point where I was at a point where I was trying to say, okay, I'm ready to move on. And if 50 gonna give her a chance, damn it, let's give her a chance. And let's get her back on the stage and doing what she do. She's a hell of an actress. Let's just get out of the way and let her be great. And now it's like, maybe I don't know, man. I don't know. Cause you see, you've come to her aid quite a bit. Not her aid, but you've tried to give her grace. What are your thoughts?
See, I tried to give her grace.
Yeah, because you've tried to you've said on the show before that, you know, historically some of the things that were done to her were a little much, like what Oprah and the blackballing and I will co-sign with you that I do believe on some level she was for sure blackballed by, you know, powerful people, Lee Daniels, Tyler, Oprah. They probably said, you know, their version of blackballing was like, hey, I wouldn't work with her, but feel free to do what you want. And that's all it takes from people like that. You know what I mean?
What was it? Cause I remember that NOIZ was riding hard for her and was like, y'all don't understand. She done been through this and that. Netflix did try to do XYZ and y'all don't understand. And I think everybody's got the wrong perspective. It's not her. He was really riding for it at that one point. So I don't know if it was NOIZ, but I don't know if it was Cuz. I think it was NOIZ.
Well, Cuz is right there, little man. Let's ask him.
What?
I'm just saying he's right there.
He won't let you be great.
I hope he doesn't do what the folks say. These young folks be talking about clapping back. I hope he doesn't clap back at him.
Well, he didn't, and he said he's not going to in that same way, but he did have the receipts.
He did it professionally,
right?
Because it's important for us not to bicker back and forth in the public eye view. Posting a contract, most contract takes lawyers to read that shit. We don't know what the hell we're looking at. We see one or two words and we ride with it. That's the same thing that happened to all those other stars. They saw one or two words, they say shit, okay. So we don't really know what the contract says. Which is why you might have made the statement that are there two different contracts? Because she's saying she saw something and he's saying that it's something else. So I don't know if the contract proves as much of a receipt as we may think it may. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it at all. But generally speaking, contract is a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo that takes lawyers to decipher. But I hope as a brother he doesn't engage with her. Well, one of the biggest ways to make somebody look like a fool is to let them argue with themselves.
And while I don't disagree with that, cuz I think, first of all, this contract is not that difficult to understand. This is pretty cut and dry. But the other,
that's the same thing James Brown said, but his ass ended up broke. So I mean,
well, he ended up broke because he was trying to pay 5,000.
Yeah, but that's the same thing the Four Tops said. They still didn't have it. I mean, come on, it's still.
Okay, first of all, your references are old as hell right now. But
contracts, shit.
I understand what you're trying to attempt to do, and I don't necessarily completely disagree. I would prefer they work this out privately, but at the same time, I would prefer that they work this out privately. So Monique, if you got a problem with this dude, he's right there. He's in the same building you had. Your dressing room is probably right down the hallway from yours.
No, she ain't. She don't take me as somebody.
I take it to the stage and do all of that. Why? So are we giving her a pass?
Just like most other estrogen-toting people, she's emotional.
What the estrogen?
No, I can't give you a pass for that, though.
She doesn't know how to control her emotions.
There are men that don't know how to control their emotions.
Listen. the squeaky. I mean, the dog that get hit with the rock in the crowd is the one that's going. Was the one that's gonna holler out. I mean, I'm not throwing no rocks at you, Mama Noise. I'm just.
I feel like a rock just hit me.
I said most women that are toting that estrogen, some of them don't know how to control their emotions.
I didn't hear that some of them, like
That's
you
exactly
say,
what
some
I
of them
did not
first
say
time.
all women that are. I did not say all women, and I did not say. I never said the word all. I said most and some.
Okay.
Tara, you done got Tara riled up too, bro.
I don't give a damn about Tara getting riled up. I'm saying that some women don't know how to control their emotions. So I hope as a man he doesn't engage with her.
Well, but he almost she called on his integrity. And
we all know what that's about. I mean, come on. I mean, we as a people, you're saying right now that Monique just may be the problem. And two of you guys, if not three of you guys, have already said that. So we as the public, we already recognize.
I'm not saying it as much as her continued and consistent actions are. Tara made a statement. She said Monique is like bullied kids and battered wives. She bullies others just as she's being bullied. So
yeah, I will go with you because the DL should not come back at her emotional. I give you that 100%.
Which he didn't.
But Monique is an older woman. She's been in the business 30 years. She states she knows what contracts are. She states she knows how to read contracts, and I give her that. But at some point, you got to learn to shut the fuck up and handle your business outside of a stage.
Well, that brings us to tomorrow's show, because we're going to have a deeper discussion about not just Monique, but just in general. And the Talk That Tuesday questions are, do Black people play the victim too much, or are Black people truly victims?
Because even with her, man, a lot of times you'll get emotional and say that stuff to get people's attention. But you could do the exact same thing. Pick the phone up and calling him, walk into his dressing room, call your manager, have your manager call his manager, have your manager call your lawyer call his lawyer. Your lawyer could have called the company. Your manager could call the company. You have people there to, if you're paying them, you have managers, you have agents who should be doing those fights for you without you going out in the public and embarrassing your coworker. And that's what she did. She should know we cannot continue to do this. I can't go out here and call out a grown ass man for all the shit that I said he did wrong and then feel sorry for myself when people come back after me.
And it seems to be the pattern. Like every time she feels like she's been wronged, she goes public to the people to make her case. Well, thank you for telling us your business, but we can't help you. And to be honest with you, it sounds like rich people problems. So, I mean,
oftentimes, stars become so entitled.
Yeah.
Oh. And this is nothing new. I guarantee you, Luke, I don't know this for sure, but I guarantee you for sure that Lucille Ball was a hard businesswoman. She was hard to deal. I guarantee it. Because in order to break through those barriers, they had to be fighters for those that would come behind them.
Right.
Don't disagree.
And I would equate that with her, Dorothy Dandridge.
Yeah.
I mean, I would Eartha Kitt. I would say that's probably true for all of them, for in conjunction with the time period that they're in. But here's the difference between all of those women and there's women. I've never read where Lucille Ball went to the newspaper and said, "These white men are treating me like trash."
Ever. I've never heard it. Never heard it.
Yeah, and my thing with her, just quietly go handle it. Quietly go handle it. Just you're not winning in the way that you think that you are.
But you know, I'm gonna say this, and I don't disagree with what you're saying, quietly gonna handle it, but to a degree, women are tired of quietly handling shit. Just look at these. Just for instance, I'm just saying. Now listen, OD one with balls. Listen.
Why are you talking about my balls?
The
you my balls out you keep my balls out your mouth. Keep my balls out your mouth.
Nope. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear it.
The women's soccer team. The United States women's soccer team had the audacity to fight out loud. They sued. They were not negotiating behind the scenes anymore. These heifers went to court and fought for what they had been trying to do for years, and that was just get equal pay.
Right.
But when you do it quietly, males oftentimes screw you over.
But see, I respect that 100%. They fought the fight the right way. They did not come out and call people out of their name on a stage in front of everybody.
I don't disagree.
She could have did the exact same fight. She could have got in front of a judge and yelled and screamed all the hell she wanted.
I don't disagree.
But getting out and saying another comedian. Matter of fact, she called out a couple
family and just
called his family out.
And she said, well, he got me on the radio, and the girl made the joke about. Okay, I granted the joke was inappropriate. It wasn't funny. But at the same time, y'all comedians. So where's the line?
And it kind of goes to your thing tomorrow. We are our own worst enemies.
Yeah. We got a lot to talk about in regards to that. But I just hate that there seems to be a pattern with her. I don't know. But we'll address more of it tomorrow. I got a couple other stories I want to get into before we leave for the evening. One is really weird. This is a weird story. I'm warning y'all in advance. This is a weird story. I've been hearing about this metaverse, right? With the Oculus, you put on the Oculus and you go in the metaverse and you grow into these different worlds and you can visit different places in your virtual reality, blah, 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 blah. Well, a 21-year-old woman said she was raped within 1 hour of being in the metaverse. Well, let me finish, Ryan. I see where this is going, Ryan. I'm not. First of all, I'm not making fun of rape. So let's stop right there. We're not making fun of rape. That's not what we're doing. But we are wondering about this particular criminal offense that she's referring to. She says there's a report titled Metaverse, Another Cesspool of Toxic Content. She says she went in and she was virtually gang raped. The young woman works as a researcher for this one group. And she was led into a private room at a party on Horizons Worlds, a metaverse platform released by Meta last December in the US and Canada that allows users to gather with others, play games, and build their own virtual world. She says she claimed her avatar was then raped by a user while another user watched another user watched and passed around a virtual bottle of vodka, and others could be seen watching through the window. And apparently there's a clip of this. Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
She didn't log off?
Huh?
She didn't log off?
She did not log off.
Okay. She stayed in for the whole thing.
I don't know. I guess. So I don't know. They said she was virtually raped, and when you got on those Oculuses or whatever, you can feel a vibration when it's happening.
And that's on your head.
I don't know if it's on your head. I don't know how it works. So
no, we have one. We have one. My son.
Okay.
You put it over your head, It's a pair of goggles on your head that it's closed off everything. So when you want to get out the game, you take that son of a bitch off. You can come out the game. There's a little button on the side to get out the game. The little joystick things you can touch to get in and out. So how did you?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. She said it happened so fast. She was a little disassociated. One part of her brain was like, "What the F is happening?" The other part was like, "It isn't a real body," and another part was like, "This is important research."
I can't do it.
I don't. Facebook is looking into it.
She's looking at. She's making a mockery, in my opinion, of rape.
Yes.
When you talking this virtual BS, because you have a right to, you can pull the plug anytime you doggone ready. You see somebody looking like they finna step to you, pull the plug. Anybody tell you to stay on there trying to figure out, let me see what they get ready to do. Let me try to figure out what he looks suspect, but let me do some research. What the research? Get girl, bye.
It's a weird story. I gotta be honest with you. I've never.
You're making it hard for people, dude.
I don't understand what this is supposed. I don't understand the story. Like, how do you rape somebody? I don't understand the story. But that's what we have as the information. So
you're making it where if a woman says this, you're making it worse for women who really have this happen to them, with people making up things like this and calling it rape.
Well, and then there's safety measures according to the software that you can put in a safe zone button to where you can block people. So I'm just wondering why she didn't just immediately. So the company that she works for is called Some of Us. It's a Some of Us report. And apparently there's other cases of sexual harassment in these metaverses. Within 60 seconds, which, by the way, I'm not really that surprised by that, because if people will sexually harass you on Twitter or Instagram, that's not surprising that they would harass you on the metaverse. You can't see them, you can't touch them.
Right. If she'd have just said she was being sexually harassed, I would accept that more than you saying you was virtually raped.
That's a strong language, isn't it? That's
Very
strong language.
I mean, it's you using. She used that word wrong, and it's just going to make it worse for other women. I'm telling you,
she used the word she thought she was using, so I don't know. It's a very weird circumstance. Cause you got a look on your face. I'm not sure what that look is saying. Are you just trying to understand this weird story?
No, I can relate to what she's saying. I mean,
oh, here we go.
It's happened to me. It's happened.
Your wife raped you in her dream?
No, it's happened to me. I mean, I can understand what she's saying.
You were virtually raped, cuz?
Oftentimes, no, I wasn't raped. No, I've never been raped. I've been taken advantage of, but I enjoyed it. So here, I mean, I wasn't.
But we talking about virtually though. This is a virtual situation.
What happened? I oftentimes take vacations through Google Maps. I go all over the world. Don't cost me a dime. One time I was, on this island south of France, and I was walking down the street south of France, and there was people that were coming towards me, and normally Google Map blocks out their face. You can't see their face.
Right.
But one time they allowed this FU sign to go through, and I felt like that was directed towards me.
Oh. Go ahead, Mama Noiz. You fell for it. Go ahead. You fell for it, but go ahead.
A little bit.
I can't tell you the curse words that are going through my mind. The heck you gonna see through satellite? Well, I personally felt that curse word was geared toward me. unbelievable.
And to Azaria's point, this is the first time we've heard of virtual rape. We didn't know that was a thing. So we're all trying to figure this out, Azaria. This is very I'm with Tara and with the rest of you guys. I don't want to make light of this of actual rape and start highlighting virtual rape like it's a real thing. So let me just hold a quick seminar for everybody who's listening. If you are in a virtual room or a Google Maps situation similar to Cuz,
nope.
What I would suggest that you do, if you feel violated or harassed, go to the top right corner on PCs and top left corner on Apple products and just click that red X and just get out. And then that way you won't have to experience that.
Yeah, and monitor your children on Google Maps.
Mama, no, you seem offended by what Cousin shared with us today.
This Negro built this story up. I'm saying, what the?
Right, it's more harassment than rape. Rape is 100%. Albie. Good to see Albie.
Yeah.
It's more harassment. If you want to tell me you were harassed in a virtual room, I can get on board with that. That sounds right. Right. Now Tara's being aggressive right now.
Thank you, Tara. You said
She's being awfully aggressive right now. I don't think that's necessary, Tara.
Clearly, I mean, really.
Tara's being very aggressive right now.
Well, how would you call the police? So, what would you tell the police when you made that phone call to the police?
Where is he at? I don't know if you can. But now, is it a crime? Like, is it? Well, I don't know how to.
Let's be clear. They are sexually harassing your avatar, right?
Yes.
That appears to be what she's saying. Yes. Well, no, she said rape, but yes, we will classify it as sexual harassment. Yes.
Because I play some virtual golf games.
Right. I've never been harassed in any of them.
And I'm here to tell you, some of those avatars for those female golfers, man, I'd be wanting to say, hey, is that how you look for real? But how does that become harassment? I mean, are you engaging with the person directly in private chats?
Yes.
And if that be the case, then you set them straight, you turn them off, you move on. But it's not illegal for me to come at you in chat because it's a conversation. And they're never going to outlaw conversations. Even though on my virtual golf game that I play, they have now disallowed cuss words. Because we used to be able to call each other all kind of bad names. And now whenever you say a bad word, you type in a bad word, it just gives you ...
Right.
It's not gonna allow you to get those bad words through.
Right.
But if I'm engaging with you and I tell you, hey, that's a mighty fine bottom you got there, that's not going to be called. They're not going to blurt out the word fine and bottom.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever been playing a golf game and one of them avatars smack you on your ass?
Good shot.
Good shot.
No, I've never been smacked on the ass.
That's what she's talking about when she's saying this harassment.
If it had happened, I wouldn't have told you about it.
I don't know if I'd have told anybody this. Like, and then to say you've been doing research on it. Research implies that you stayed in there for the entire experience.
Just to see what'll happen.
I took that digital raping for the team.
And most of those games are recorded, and you can record what's going on, so you can actually get the name of the people, what their avatar names, and I mean,
yeah, sure can.
Well, in worst case scenario, the people who did it, they may end up in jail. I guess I don't know, because it's not like they can't follow your IP address and find you.
Well, you can't send somebody to jail for Fucking with an
I don't know, man.
Hey Tony, what you get locked up for? I was Avatar fucking.
If your avatar didn't ask to be violated in such a manner.
On the other hand,
okay, come on.
With all the different criminal stuff that goes on online, when people create catfishing, creating people that don't exist. The little girl who killed herself because she thought she was in love with an actual person, and it turned out to be an old broad couple of doors down from her house that just wanted to see the girl suffer, and just went and found some pictures offline and created some dude, and he didn't exist, but they was clowning her and stuff, and she took her life. That was all on the internet. That wasn't that nobody put their literal hands on her. It was just this woman, wicked woman, that just did this to taunt this child. Now she gone. So it's like now cyber crimes are exactly cyber crimes are happening. So
cyberbullying is a crime.
Right. The cyberbullying, the catfishing and all that type of stuff, that's all cyber. So if somebody's bold enough to say, well, I'm just gonna rape a avatar just to see what happened or whatever, okay, dude, you might have some tendencies.
Well, now wait a minute. Let's be clear. For you to want to go on a virtual game and rape someone, you absolutely have tendencies.
I mean, we might need to check what else is going on with your stuff to make sure you ain't doing some literal ish.
Yeah, but see, when I understand what you guys are saying, and I don't disagree with that, but you can't take it too far, because when I was a kid, I used to have Steve Austin and Jamie dolls. And I oftentimes made Steve Austin do what he wanted to do to Jamie.
Don't do it.
But they close off.
I don't. This right here is the face of regret. I probably should not.
I agree with Tony Bruce. They need to check him.
Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna move past that moment. Like,
see, Tony Bruce is wrong for that one. Stronger, faster.
I'm moving past that moment like it never even happened.
What's your next story?
I don't even know where to go from here. What was my next story? Because you disoriented me. I wasn't prepared for the $6 million reference you just did. I wasn't prepared for that. Nobody.
The $6 million raping
right. Well, no, it sounded like they were willing participants. It didn't sound like rape at all. He may have forced the relationship together, but so there was a $6 million man, and how much was she worth? No, she was just a bionic woman.
She was a bionic woman, yeah.
They didn't have a dollar amount on her.
Yeah.
So she could have been like $49.95. Like, we don't even know.
She was saved alive, unfortunately.
Right. She's just bionic, whatever that means.
Really? $49.95?
No, I'm just saying we don't know the amount. They never gave us the amount.
It should be right about the same.
They never gave us the
amount. They never gave us an amount.
No, they didn't, but I'm just saying he had all kinds of broken limbs, all kinds of limbs that had to be added.
And it cost $6 million. They had a price tag on it. With her, they just made her bionic.
Mm-hmm.
That might be like a pig.
They didn't just make her whole body bionic.
That's what she's literally called, a bionic woman. That's
they
the thing.
said a bionic woman, but she was human.
What does that have to do with the cost?
They never told you exactly how much money they put into.
Do you know how bionics work, Mama Noise?
I refuse to stand by idly and let you put $49.95 on that woman.
You don't have a price for her.
Oh, I have to have a price?
Let me just Google it real quick.
Well, Mama Noise.
Sir.
He was first. So the technology was new with him, and always In all cases, the newer the technology, the more it costs. So he was a $6 million man. By the time she came along, they had already mastered it.
Oh, you saying she was cheaper because they already had figured it?
Probably wasn't but 2-3 million, Mama. No, she wasn't 6. I'm just saying the technology.
I'm just saying she wasn't $49.95. I know that.
According to Wikipedia, she was only $1 million.
There you go.
That's still more than $49.95, Mr. Noise.
Okay, fine.
She was still cheaper.
You know what?
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall. You gonna fall for it.
I wasn't saying she was a cheap person, Mama Noise. I'm just saying that the parts that it took to make him were not quite as expensive as the parts that it took to make her. That's all I'm going to try to do.
So what's your point? Why are we even talking about him?
I don't know. It just felt like the right thing to do. Oh man. Oh man. This show is going completely off the rails today. Oh my goodness. Woo! Y'all got me over here in tears.
And stay out of the chat because Anthony Bruce is just going ham.
I didn't know Mama Noise was going to go so hardcore to defend her. I didn't realize that was coming.
So they got
I can see the dolls and hear the music in the background.
Church music at that in the background. They got her. He said they got her parts on bulk. You know, they got get 2 legs on.
You just told me to stay out of the chat.
It's really inappropriate right now. Anthony Bruce is being.
Why you ain't fussing him out about reading what's in the chat?
I'm fussing.
No, you ain't, because it'd have been me. You'd have been right out of the chat.
Because I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm laughing so hard.
See, Mama knows I couldn't pop him up for him while he was laughing, so I had to read him for him.
No, you didn't.
Oh my God.
You didn't have to read it.
I'm trying to catch my breath. I really am. That was funny.
See, I'm not logged into the team version of the StreamYard. I'm on the invite, so I can't go in and hit the button.
Cool. That's funny. That's funny. $1 million, huh, Ryan? So
yeah, according to Wikipedia, she was only worth $1 million.
So it's like,
you know when you first make it, it's going to be expensive, but they knew how to make it. So when they start making the other parts,
like, we ain't got to pay all this money. We ain't got to pay.
Yeah, we talk about the relevance. This is the code of law.
They were just trying to save some money.
Okay, we know how much he costs. Why are we talking about him?
Ooh, Mama Noise, you are aggressive tonight. It's a lot.
I'm trying to belittle the woman. Well,
we're not belittling her. We're just saying.
Yeah, you did. You already said $49.
Just explain to the listening audience.
Exactly $49.95.
Why would you get riled up because Jamie was cheaper than Steve? What difference does it?
Are we talking about the doll you had or what?
Steve Austin and Jamie. What was Jamie's last name? I don't remember.
Wagner or something? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I remember. You had both of those dolls?
Yeah, I used to make them engage in activities that was unbecoming of a 6-year-old. I did.
It was Jamie Summers. She was Summers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie Summers.
So I mean, why would you get upset about her being cheaper?
Because it's always like the woman got to be. It's like you just got finished getting riled up talking about women. The pay. We was talking about women a few minutes ago, and then I'm saying I got to fight for the women.
Why do you have to fight for her? Like nobody was saying she wasn't good at her job.
It's like you said about soccer. All these years, the men been making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, all of a sudden, when they sue then all of a sudden it's, we didn't see the numbers. Y'all been seeing the numbers. Then after they sued you, I think we're going to go ahead and make it right. Now, all you need to do is do the WNBA, and then they will have to go overseas and can't get back over here and stuff trying to make more money.
This kind of goes to tomorrow's show. This kind of goes to tomorrow's show. Are we always victimizing ourselves? every chance we get, because you know I am a defender of women. I believe in fighting for. I absolutely believe in fighting for women. Black women in particular, but does everything have to be gender, or does everything have to be race all the time?
You know, that would be nice if a person could just show up and say, you know what, don't look at my race, and then I want this and that without you looking at those things in order to make the decision.
See, Mama knows I took it as a compliment. She did everything he could, and she did it cheaper and better.
Yeah.
It took him $6 million to get his ass right. They took her $1 million. She did the exact same damn thing.
And she was better.
Well, she was finer. I don't know about that.
She was definitely finer.
Okay, I wasn't looking at
fineness
and all that. I'm just simply saying.
We was actually all looking at
I'm just saying. You got WNBA over here struggling, trying to run across seas, trying to make a little extra money when y'all Negroes is over here, no matter what race they are, but doesn't matter the race, but just as long as they men, they making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
You gotta be careful with that WNBA and NBA comparison though. Because it's about how many people are going to the games to support it to get the money. So if
I watch
not filling up a 20,000 seat arena like the NBA is, it's hard to get that same funding, the same money, and all that. So if we want WNBA to get where they need to be, we got to support WNBA better than what they do today.
I watched the USFL this weekend in my sickly state.
Hey, USFL just lead.
It wasn't a bad product. But there was nobody in the stands.
None.
They are not going to make it. They're not going to make it. It's not a bad product. It's competitive. There's some skill for sure, but it's not going to make it.
And what is this that you're telling us about that I don't know what the acronym is for?
The USFL is the new football league that's supposed to, that they're hoping and aiming, much like the XFL, to be a subsidiary of the NFL. But the problem is, if people won't support it, then it's not going to make it. It's not people. You can't just pay salaries with no viable income coming in, or the ratio of income to debt is completely off. Right now, it's completely off. I looked up in them stands and I didn't see nobody
in there.
Right now, my point of bringing that up is, as much as now with women's soccer, that's not true. Women's soccer, there is high levels of equality. In fact, I would argue that the women are better than the men, and their games are equally as attended. So there was no viable, logical reason why those women should have been making as much, if not more, than those guys.
So I wondered the same thing then about women volleyball versus men volleyball.
I think it's the same thing. Yes,
they paid the same because
except they naked.
Women volleyball has a lot more followers than men.
Women volleyball sells out every game over.
Men ain't got nothing but draws on either. So what's your point?
But the women ain't got them little washcloths that they call underpants, spanky pants or whatever that they wear, and tops. They look like short of dental floss.
Mama knows they just trying to do the best that they can with what.
Why? Because when we was playing volleyball, it was in big old long basketball shorts.
It's because you was indoors. You can't be butt ass naked inside of a gym. They're on the beach.
Lloyd, sometimes they play volleyball indoors,
and they're clothed.
And I think WNBA women definitely need to be paid more.
They definitely need to be paid more.
But I think you got to get the attendance to where the NBA's attendance is, paying the same ticket prices in order for them to get the money. These owners are not going to put $60 million of expense out there and only get $40 million of profit.
Well, the truth of the matter is they don't want to put the WNBA games in the same venues all of the same venues as the men because they don't believe it'll turn the same profit. And there may or may not be some truth there. I don't know. I would imagine if it's marketed different, I don't know, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I don't like bringing the WNBA, to be honest with you, in the conversation because I don't know if we can have it in an objective way to where it doesn't sound like we're being sexist.
You know, it's amazing. I was saying this about what Tara just said, how the girls in high schools wear those same little booty shorts too. More often than not, in order for girls, y'all, I'm just talking. In order for a girl's sporting event to be popular, she has to be somewhat exposed. But then you have female wrestling that's not nearly as popular as male wrestling. That's interesting to me. And those women are damn near naked.
But I think the reason is because they right in the center. When I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've seen Lloyd watch it because he's a huge a wrestling fan of WWE, whatever. But
are you talking about WWE or are you talking about like
I'm talking about
wrestling? No, I'm asking cuz. Before you finish,
I just want women wrestling.
It's huge now, dude. It is huge.
Are you talking about on a mat though, or are you talking about
the stuff that you watch?
Oh, you're talking WWE. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Well, go ahead, Mama Noise. Go ahead.
Because the professional, the reason why it's incorporated in, where everybody comes to hear all these big names. Oh, this is so-and-so. This is Roman. This is this guy and all that stuff. And the women are like placed in the middle. Like, oh,
not anymore. But
do they have but are they where they have their own something separate from them?
Hold on. Not separate, but it's on a level playing field now. Right. If you had said this to me 15, 20 years ago, I'd agree with you 100%. They were just puppets and profits. I mean, not profits, puppets and props in the overall machine that was WWE. They were not valued in the same way. But there have been some women who arguably have cut through the foolishness and forced WWE to minimalize the sexuality of it all and focus on the athletic ability. And now, man, I would argue that some of them women, the women's wrestling, in some ways are better than the men. There's a lot of the men now that don't really cut the mustard. The women's matches, especially over the last 5 years, have been way better. Some of those women that we've had 3 years in a row where women have main evented WrestleMania, which is the biggest event of the year. They main evented it, and the match was better. It was the best matches of the night. So it's WWE.
They were on there with the men on there as well.
Yes.
But that's my point. My point is, when are they gonna have a big old WWE thing? It ain't nothing but women there, and how is they gonna pack?
Well, they've done that too. They tried it about 3 years ago, where it was an all-women card. I think they called it Evolution. The pay-per-view was called Evolution, and it did. But here's just being honest, it clearly did just okay.
Didn't have the participation, did it?
Well.
The arena was sold out, Mama Noise.
Right, the arena was sold out.
It didn't have the television spots.
Yeah, the pay-per-view numbers didn't do the same.
Yeah.
So they had to do a pay-per-view.
They're all pay-per-view.
Well, I'm saying like the one, okay, like WWE or WrestleMania or somebody was here not too long ago. Right? Yeah. Or in San Antonio, somewhere like that. There wasn't pay-per-view. There was
pay-per-view.
Okay.
They not listen. When they come, like when they came to Dallas, that was for WrestleMania. That was all pay-per-view. Now pay-per-view has changed from what it used to be because now WWE pay-per-view you can buy it one of two ways. You can buy it outright at the $49.95, which nobody ever does anymore, or you buy the Peacock subscription and that pays for your right to watch the match. So it's different than the way it used to be, but the structure is still the same. But they don't have, or they haven't had too many all women. You're right in that regard. All women pay-per-views, and they could now
the same draw. It just won't. I don't think. But
No, I don't know if you're wrong. It's hard to get men. Well, here's the other part. Here's the other part, because you brought women up in the wrestling, so I'm just happen to be somewhat of an expert here. They don't have enough women on the roster to actually justify doing it. That's the real problem.
And you don't have the women. You don't have the women that have the showmanship that a lot of the guys are doing.
They barely have enough men that have the showmanship. Right. So it's hard to get either one that have the level of talent that it requires to hold down a pay-per-view. Because that's a lot of wrestling. That's 2-3 hours worth of wrestling. And so to make it good and entertaining and make people want to come back, a lot of people got to be good, which that's not where wrestling is right now. That's the number one problem wrestling is having right now. A lot of the great wrestlers, the legendary, the Hall of Fame type wrestlers, they're not there anymore. So, like back in the day, a Roman Reigns wouldn't have stood out. He'd just be a regular dude. Like, he's okay. He's a great wrestler. He's a highly skilled. Here's the irony of the whole thing. Skill-wise, the wrestlers probably are better now than they used to be. Personality-wise, they suck. They are terrible. You don't know one from another. They're not very entertaining. They're not good. Same thing with the women. The women, from a entertainment perspective of you watching and listening to what they say, they're not very good. There's not that many great women. But skill-wise, athletic-wise, they're killing it. They jumping off stuff, flipping off stuff. I mean, they're incredible, but they're just not very. But there's no reason to watch them.
Side note, I know where you got that $49.95 from now that you said that.
I just said it off the top of my head.
No, you said that's how much they pay for WWE. for the pay-per-view.
Mama Noiz, you were really offended by this $49.95. Let it go. Move on with your life.
$39.99. $39.99.
Feels like you're just dragging it out at this point. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's man. I might watch it tonight.
Women tennis is damn near just as popular, if not more popular now than men.
I say it's more popular than men.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a reason. There's a reason. Yeah, the skill has to be there.
Yeah, the skills got to be there.
But we also like to see them girls out there with them little outfits on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care as much about that as a lot of dudes. Now I'm probably in the minority. I'm probably in the minority. I get it.
It's nice to see Serena out there with her fashionable outfits on. I mean that don't hurt. That don't hurt tennis. Let's just put it like that.
It doesn't hurt it, but I still think even before the Serenas and all them came out with how she wore outfits, I still say women's tennis was still more popular than men, and more people came out and watched more women's tennis than they did watch the men tennis.
Yeah, I was gonna say Serena's a one-off. I don't think you can use Serena as the measuring stick because she's really. They all wear shorter outfits, but Serena took it to another level. She was wearing tight shit. And he was like, whoa, that's different.
But you can pick a lot of tennis. I still say it was women, but men made more in tennis than women did. But to me, I think
they used to, but it definitely changed.
It changed
because Serena got good, Venus got good, Sharapova was pretty good. There was a lot of women that kind of, if not for lack of a better word, bum rush tennis all at the same time and got good and popular. Now, I will say this, and I'll definitely co-sign what you're saying on this regard, because the advantage that women had over the men is that off the court, they became models as well. And that accelerated tennis. You know, it's one thing to be good at your sport. It's another thing to be good, and then when you're not on the court, you're in a thong.
Yes.
That accelerated women's tennis more than anything. Them Sports Illustrators and Vanity Fairs and all that stuff. That really accelerated.
I mean, even Sports Illustrated this time has I think they have 5 different covers trying to make sure they cover everybody. Because I think,
well, ironically, Mama Noise, to your point, they did covers on the WNBA women. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure that is in the hopes that the visual stimulation towards men of that will draw them into the sport.
Well, I was talking about Sierra, and I mean the swimsuit. I think it's the swimsuit issue where Sierra and four other ladies are on individual. Like, in other words, sometimes they will put out a magazine and they'll put like somebody famous, like I'll just say like Megan Thee Stallion on one of them. They go off to the West Coast, and then they'll put like Sierra.
Well, they've been doing that though, Mama Noise. I'm trying to relate it back to what you were talking about with equal pay, so that people understand that's the strategy that they're trying to use. I am confident that the WNBA contacted Sports Illustrated and they had meetings with like, hey, we're trying to accelerate our brand. How about y'all take pictures of our girls? They were like, cool, we'd love to do that. So they took the pictures in the hope that men will look at those pictures of Sue Bird and Breanna Stewart and the more popular girls of the WNBA and go, hey, man, maybe I should start watching the sport more if they look like this. But there's a problem with that.
And think about it, Mama, the WNBA from a skill perspective is just as good and just as talented as the men's.
Maybe better, skill-wise. Just on fundamental skills.
The only thing the WNBA is missing compared to the men's is literally alley-oops and dunks.
Right.
Listen, what, Ron, I'm sorry.
Dunks are about the only thing the WNBA is missing compared to NBA basketball. Where is it?
But you know, I'm probably the only one that feels this way and may get criticized for it. But you know, y'all know what I don't like women's basketball.
Wow.
I really don't follow it at all, and I've tried to watch it, but I don't like it. There's something very masculine to me about basketball. The dribbling, the shooting, the dunking, the checking. There's something very masculine to me about it. I personally don't like to see females do it.
And see, I love it. I absolutely adore it. I watch it. I watched games this weekend. I think I watched Chicago Sky and the Aces. I love it. I love the competition of it all. Who's General Savage? This chat seems lit. Okay. I guess that's a compliment, I guess. I don't know.
And see, I'm with Lloyd. I like it because again, I like the fundamental aspect of women's basketball. I like the how competitive they are in women's basketball. You know, outside of high school and college, you have it's definitely a big difference between high school and college when you play some of the more popular schools. They have a lot of the athletes, but when you get to WNBA, the games are really good games. I mean, like you said, outside of the loops and the dunks, they play just as hard, just as good, just as fast as what you see in the NBA.
And they're highly skilled. They are highly skilled.
I mean, I don't. I'm looking at Tara's question, so you need to post it before I say something about it because I don't want Mama.
Don't get. Okay. The Brittany Grimes. The Brittany Grimes of the world are masculine and great ballers. What would you have them to do?
So I'm not against women playing basketball. For me, I don't like to see it. It's just not something that I enjoy watching.
Shout out to Dade County.
But no, I'm not against them playing basketball at all. If that's your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Wow. General Savage says, hey, check it out. My aunt is a professional women's basketball coach. I'm not going to tell them university she scouts now. Right. See, I love women's basketball. When I was covering University of Louisville, the women's games were my favorite games to cover. Because they were fun, they was exciting, they had a great brand of basketball. I enjoyed watching it, and I enjoy them to this day. I don't know why. I understand exactly what you're saying, cuz that masculine side of what you're talking about. I get what you're saying. I don't know if it's completely true across the board. In fact, I would argue that it's not.
Probably.
But the perception of it is real. And I think that's the struggle that women's basketball is having, is breaking that perception for the reality that is what the sport actually is.
Right.
So I don't know. It's been hard. Yeah. It's what did General Savage say? Well, we don't like to watch young women dancing. That's pretty funny. That's actually pretty funny and true, and also true, General Savage.
And I think college does a horrible job of promoting women's basketball, and I really think
they do a horrible job. You think they do a horrible
college
job?
does a horrible job. I think college can promote it way more than what they actually do. Because it depends.
You said college does a horrible job, or WNBA does a horrible job?
The college does a horrible job promoting women's basketball.
I would argue that they do a fantastic job. Well, they do a fantastic job of promoting UConn.
Yes, they do a fantastic job promoting certain schools, but overall for women's college basketball, they do a horrible job. Yeah, and in high school, and it's really bad in high school because even the parents don't support a lot of the kids in high school that's playing the sport, which makes it even worse for the kids that's in high school. So I mean, that's where it's losing in at. If you start supporting those women in high school, going to the games, and really start paying attention to how they're playing, I'm telling you, you watch them from high school through college, you'll continue to support them all the way through because the games are just as freaking
They're
good.
fantastic. One of the best games I saw this year was a friend of mine's daughter played in the state championship, and it was amazing. The game was amazing. They took there was their first time going to the state championship, and they took a team that had been undefeated for 2 years to overtime, or maybe it was double overtime. And it was a phenomenal game. I mean, I was at the edge. I was on the edge of my seat with it. So it's a quality brand of basketball. It's just it's a lot of barriers, man, and they don't know how. They just have not figured out how to crack the code of making men want to watch it and making women support it.
And what hurts the men for watching it is it's because they promote 7-8 different schools for these kids to go to, the Stanfords, the UConns, and all them. So when they play these other schools, man, they're beating them by 40, 50, 60 points. Nobody wants to see those games. They have yet to figure out how to make more kids go to these other schools to make the talent spread itself out so you have more competitive games. Right now, 7 to 8 schools take all the talent.
I'm talking about in college.
In college.
But for instance, the reason, you know, I'm not a chauvinistic guy. I love women, but I can watch tennis all day, and I never think that one of those, no matter how successful or how they are in the game of pro tennis, I never see one of those girls as being masculine. Even though Serena's kind of mad, I don't think she is. But in order for a female, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, to be our most successful basketball in WNBA players, were they more masculine than the non-masculine girls?
No. There's actually a balance of. So let's talk about what we're talking about, cuz we keep dancing around the real issue. Here's the real issue. Here's the real issue. Y'all want to have a conversation? Let's have a conversation. We're here now, damn it. Okay. Here's the reality. The challenge that the WNBA and college women's sports, specifically basketball, have is that for some reason we feel forced to connect the talent of the athlete with their sexuality. We feel forced to do so. And so because we have not as a society reconciled that part, it makes it difficult to see the talent for what it is. because it really shouldn't matter what their personal sexuality is. It shouldn't matter. You're watching basketball, they're hooping. Let's let them hoop. But the reality is, specifically, which is ironic because we don't do that with the men. We don't even care, right? But to say that there's not gay basketball men, you're fooling yourself, right? You're fooling yourself. There's probably some gay dudes playing basketball. They just ain't outed themselves, but they out there. But the problem is we don't. For some reason, with women's sports, we just be like, when one got a low haircut and looked like kind of masculine, be like, damn, she like a dude. And we distracted by that. She just put up 25 and 15, but we ain't seen none of that. All we saw is she got a low haircut, blonde hair, and she got a strong sports bra on so you can't see her titties. That's what that's what. Come on, y'all. That's what we're talking about, right?
I'm with you. I agree with you.
That's what we're talking about. And for a lot of guys, they can't get past that. And here's the other part. For a lot of women, they can't get past it because a lot of times women don't necessarily go to the NBA games looking to see the competition. They're there because of a lot of them are there for the atmosphere. They're there for the some of them are there for the pure love of the sport, but a lot of them are not. So they don't want to go to a game filled with sexually questionable people in their minds. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that's the mindset. That's what we're talking about. And that's unfortunate because until the WNBA finds a way to truly break that stigma that's upon their sport, I don't know how they break through financially.
But like I said, you got to break that stigma all the way back, though. That stigma is in all the levels.
Right. I'm saying, yeah, you're right. All the way to high school. You're absolutely 1,000% correct. And I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know how you break that. That's a societal thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cultural thing. We as a culture have not decided where we are on that, or we have, and because we've decided, we refuse to support anything that feels like this thing.
And back to Tara, you put up more chat. I'm reading and you're not putting it up. I'm in the chat.
Sometimes it's not for us. Sometimes it's for them.
It did say cuz.
They thought.
Well, I mean, she was naming off. She was naming.
Okay, that one was for him. That was for him.
She named off Billie Jean King and Chris Everett Lord and Navratilova.
Right.
Though all of those gay women, I know Billie Jean King was.
Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova were.
Okay, those two were, but not Chris Everett. Not
Chris Everett was not.
Okay. But even though they may have been, I never saw them as masculine on the court. It just never came across that way to me. No matter how hard they played against other women, it never appeared to me.
But they have a different set of rules, though. Like, they can't come to Roland Garros which is the French Open, or Wimbledon in masculine attire. There's a standard. You have to wear a skirt. You have to look a certain way to even compete. So,
we're in basketball, and that's the biggest difference, because in basketball, and because you also see it as masculine, they're wearing the baggy shorts, they're wearing the baggy jerseys, and
the tennis shoes.
They're not coming in skirts and spanks.
But I've seen some basketball players. I forgot what team that she plays for. She wears blonde braids that go all the way down her back, and she's got the longest, beautiful nails.
Mm-hmm.
And
I grew up in South Carolina, Alicia Boston, I think is her name.
And I was like, okay, girl, I see you. And several of them are trying to break the, like I gotta be looking, masculine or whatever in order to be considered a good player. Maybe there's a stigma that says if you look too feminine, and then you can't play.
And honestly, but think about this: in basketball, that's from what society puts up for them is you have to look masculine because their entire uniform is.
I don't know if that's true because Candace Parker don't look masculine, and Liz Cambridge and Agumake sisters, they don't look masculine.
I'm saying for most of them, you look at most of the women in WNBA, our society forces them to look more masculine because everything is masculine.
And see, I would push back on that. I think listen, again, I watch a lot of WNBA. I really, really enjoy watching it. And so I think it's probably 50-50. Like there for as many women.
Not on the court.
Yeah. It's probably
there is not one girl on the court wearing a damn skirt when they playing basketball.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about the masculinity of it all.
But I'm saying that on the court, when you watch them play, you look at the NBA, you look at WNBA, it looks exactly the same. From a uniform perspective, they all make them look like
they all look hard.
They all look hard from a uniform perspective.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because when you look at tennis,
I see what you're saying.
You look at Cousins' theory on tennis. The women in tennis, skirts, Spanx, they look feminine. The men,
no, that's not true. A dress or a skirt does make you look feminine. That's not true at all.
I agree with that, Mr. Noise. I disagree with that one, Tar.
Yeah, no, but the skirt, if you see somebody in a dress, male or female, they look feminine.
It makes you look feminine, yeah.
Yeah, there's no other way around that. Yeah,
I did hate that part about basketball, wearing that old masculine, uniform. But
but
I felt,
you can't play basketball really in anything. I mean, you don't want women to come out playing basketball in their draws. Well,
they do for volleyball.
Some dudes do. Matter of fact, there is a lingerie league of basketball where they all in draws.
I don't want to see him in panties, but I don't want to see him in no baggy shorts with no big old Air Jordans on with the sock. I don't like the look.
And see, for me, the look doesn't bother me because I understand what they're doing. I'm looking at it from a game.
Good point, Jim Savage.
I don't look at it as they look masculine. To me, I'm watching the game.
Right. I don't even consider that. I don't. Yeah. I just watch the game. I don't. To me, it don't come up. And Twitter said maybe you should separate the men completely from the women and let the women lead Bill. They can't. They can't. There's not a viable financial path for them to do that. Because until public perception changes and allows for a balanced approach to the whole concept of who they are and what they are. There's just no way for them to sustain that league. You can't even get business to support it.
Yeah, just look at your top.
Another reason why they don't work.
Yeah, look at your top NBA team. And I'm not saying top. I'm gonna use Dallas. I'm gonna use Cousins' team, Dallas. Dallas is probably $1 billion industry, right?
Right.
Basketball.
Easy. Yeah.
The women team is probably $9,500 million. So it's going to be until you can get the women's ownership or teams to get to that same type of revenue. It's going to be hard for you to pay the WNBA women $20 million salaries, $50 million salaries, because you have to build up the revenue. No business ever survives if the expenses are more than the revenue. It would never survive. And the mama knows I want them to pay them more money, but you got to get the fans in the stands. The fans have to go to spend the money.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I guess my challenge is that you have seeing these women struggle the way they were struggling with. Like if it was an expose on the situation where one of them, they was trying to get babysitters and all that type of stuff, trying to be able to afford those things where the guys they ain't losing no sleep if they're in the NBA, they got enough money to be able to do X Y Z Z X Y Z Z Z, whereas the women are just like we trying to. I'm not saying that men in the NBA don't travel overseas, but I'm saying it just seems like that the women are really struggling. And then when I saw the NCAA situation, I was just mortified that they went and had that state-of-the-art workout facility for the men, and then for the women, they had a curtain pulled back with just a few little smart bells figuring that, well, they ain't really working out. They don't really need to work out. And then until they had the light shown on the situation, then all of a sudden a state-of-the-art facility showed up for the women in the bubble.
Well, that's because the NCAA are assholes. So that's a whole different conversation.
You beat me to it. 100% assholes.
Yeah, they're assholes. They could easily fix that problem. They just refuse to do it. But you're right. The equity of fairness and financial fairness when you get on the professional level does dramatically shift. And I've argued, honestly, I don't understand why. Because if NBA is a multi-billion-dollar business, which it is, they could just they've been financially supporting the WNBA for years anyway. Just go ahead and break the money off and help try to grow the sport and go find there. Surely there are some sponsors out there that will cross the lines and allow them to be able to make better money than what they're making. So I don't know. I struggle with.
If you don't get the fan support, that's the problem. You can put all the money you want in it, but you got to have a revenue stream coming in. And if that revenue stream isn't outpacing the expense that you're putting out there, at some point you're gonna kill that product. It's just business. You can't spend $80 million and only bring in $40 million in revenue. It's never going to work. So if we want to get WNBA up, we have to start supporting it and going to the game.
We need to get the WNBA to get Daisy Dukes.
No, I don't think Daisy Dukes is the answer, Mama Noise, but I do think they need to change the uniforms.
Wait a minute, what else?
It is a.
I think as a former layer of hands at basketball, at one time in my life, I used to play basketball. I'm saying that I feel like that if I'd have had anything skimpier, trying to have something that the whole goal is for you to see the game and see the person's ability to play and not to see that they got, they well endowed in the front and the back. Well endowed up top and well endowed on the backside, because that's what happens when you start putting shorter shorts and then putting trying to put a show you cleavage and all that stuff. That's what needs to happen.
So you'll take if the shorter you make the uniforms in the WNBA, you're going to take away from the game. And people,
I don't think they should do that.
They should not do that. The NBA got away from short shorts. Hell, the 70s, that's all the NBA wore was short shorts.
Yeah, they was in coochie cutters too.
Maybe they should go to coochie cutters until we catch on, and then they can go full length.
No, don't do that.
You need to draw me in somehow.
I don't think that's going to draw you in. That's not going to draw you in. And it's going.
I'm not attracted to the masculine look of a female.
But we don't want you drawn in for the wrong reason. We don't want you spending the whole time. This amazing game is going on, and all you can do is say, "Yeah, we got a fat ass."
But we were drawn to tennis, female tennis, and female volleyball for the same, and swimming, and so forth and so on.
Listen, the best match I've seen this year was Louisville versus Louisville volleyball versus what was the team that won the national championship? They lost to them. That was one of the best matches I've seen this year.
They lost
Nebraska.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. So there are just some people that can see the sport and some people that can't. And I think that's just where we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. You put women in short shorts. I'm not watching the game.
I don't even know what sport we're playing at this point. I'm watching
what the hell you mean?
A whole different thing.
Man,
I would lose the point of it. I would lose the point of the game because I'm watching ass too much.
Because you shifted it around to something else.
Yeah, but women are attracted to football because of the tights of men.
I don't look at that. I don't.
Yeah, but women aren't driving this football revenue. That's not what's driving the football revenue.
They learn the game. And then they start appreciating, players and skills. But they
already know the game. I already know the game of basketball. Why do I need to? I'm not going to learn nothing different. Watching them with short shorts on.
Yeah, women aren't driving football revenue.
They are driving some of it.
I think they help.
They help.
Well, it's the help, but
they make a contribution.
So
yeah, but it's not a contribution that's so substantive that you shift the whole entire marketing structure of it. It's not this. It's just a byproduct.
In the area of paraphernalia, they do.
No, I disagree.
And cuz I'm gonna help you out. Here's the reason why I know that won't work. They have a lingerie football that's out today that's on TV. How many people?
Maybe, but they literally be
butt naked. How many people watch it?
Ain't nobody watching that.
Right. That's the point we're making.
It's the point I'm making. People are not gonna go watch it because they're like, I'm not watching the game.
That's not football.
It's not football. They're butt ass. They damn near butt ass naked.
And by the way, some of them girls can play.
But it's not football because everybody's watching it for the other reason. They're not watching it for the game.
So you bought into the idea that basketball is long shorts and big bulky ass tennis shoes on females?
I'm bought into basketball. The long shorts and big shoes don't bother me because you got to play the game in something. I don't need you to play the game. I don't need a woman to play the games in booty shorts. Her skill isn't any better in booty shorts as it is in long shorts. The skill is no different. Booty shorts is gonna make me watch her ass more than I'm watching her skill. I'm paying to watch her ass at that point.
I don't want to watch it based on
sexuality.
I think that's not helping the sport at all.
It's going to hurt. To me, it's going to hurt the sport. It's going to give people the wrong perception of what women's basketball is.
Yeah,
I think it'll hurt it. You can't play it in heels, so you ain't got nothing but to play it in tennis shoes. It'll be.
I mean, you can always keep it right where it is, and it'll continue to be a non stand filler.
Well, no, it's done. It's doing better in the sense of filling the stands. It's not filling it in the arenas that they would like to fill it, but it's doing better in that regard. The challenge is that we just don't see.
They don't support it. People are not supporting it like this.
Yeah, women are supporting it, and men are supporting it like they should, and it carries a stigmatism, a false narrative that they can't seem to break out of. I don't even know if it's false. It's just the narrative.
If you look at when they come into the game, most of them come into the game, they're beautiful. They are dressed to the nine when they come in. They are when you see them walking in, they dress feminine. They look like women. I mean, they come in, they're beautiful as hell. That to me, that's the first part I need to see them like that. Once they get in that court, I want to see basketball.
Yeah, but look at what General Savage said there, Mr. Noise. You slow.
I'm okay. You know what, nigga. Boy, niggas gonna try me. Niggas gonna try me.
Any man find powerful women threatening, then you a soft ass man.
But powerful and masculine is two different things. You can be a powerful, feminine woman. The power is not the issue.
Shit, Dennis Rodman was powerful. We thought his ass was gay for the longest.
I wish I was more attracted to the sport, but I'm just being honest, I'm not.
Wow.
For that reason that I've told you.
Wow. I got zero issue with it. I just do not care. I enjoy what they do. I enjoy the performance of it all. I don't care. Mama knows you don't watch WNBA, do you? Why? But you don't watch NBA though.
And because I didn't watch tennis, I really don't even care for tennis.
Yeah.
You care for what?
I don't care for tennis. Period. I mean, the only time I really ever watched a match was one of the Williams sisters were playing. Outside that, I ain't giving two rats.
I've always watched tennis. I love tennis.
But you also love golf.
Yeah, I like sports. I like competition.
I like a lot of sports, but golf didn't excite me. Tennis didn't excite me. I mean, if it came on TV today and I had to pick that or watch a movie, I'd probably go watch a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I watch NBA every blue moon, but I'll sit down and watch it. But it's nothing that I'm like, oh, I can't wait till it come on. It's not that type of situation.
And see, that's how people feel about. That's what I'm saying. You are the byproduct of the target market. Same thing you're the byproduct of the target market. The target market is men for the WNBA or for NBA. Same thing for the NFL. It's not women. Women is the byproduct of the target market. Now they have created lanes for women to be a part of that conversation, and they made football accessible to women in a way to where they can appreciate the sport. But that's not who's driving revenue. The problem is,
I just disagree with that. I really do. I don't have no numbers to prove what I feel, but
okay,
that can't be right. There are a lot of women in football stadiums all over this country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying it's 50-50, but it ain't.
That's not what I'm saying, General Savage. You missed what I was saying on that one.
But I don't believe it's 80-20 either.
I don't think it's. I think if you were to look at the real numbers, it's probably a high percentage of women watching. But what I'm saying to you is that when you dive into women watching football, is it a high percentage that are just saying I truly love the sport, or is it a high percentage of saying I'm along for the ride? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't watch football for no man looking at no man's tail. I like to watch football. You can't even see their faces or nothing. I like to watch football. So I mean, I think all of those. I mean, I think whoever started that saying I like to watch it. That's some BS. I don't believe.
I don't think it's BS. I just think it's a percentage of women.
I believe that a small percentage. That either you like watching football or you don't. But I don't think you're just going. I just watch it for you know. The same thing about NBA. They run around in them little shorts. They shorts ain't little.
And maybe there has been a significant cultural shift where it's not, the percentages are not as high as they used to be, because more women are educated in the sport than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think of our college campuses and look at any Michigan, Ohio, Texas, A&M, Longhorns, OU. Look at the number of women that's in those stands.
I agree, because they're connected to it from a collegiate perspective, and
with it right through college.
Yeah. I don't know. Football doesn't have the same problem.
You're comparing the South to the North. South women is one thing looking at it from a football perspective. In the North, it's not as big or as popular with the women. Where basketball is. The last article I saw, 47% of NFL fans are female now. And that's up. It used to be less than that. So 47% of the fan base is women now.
Okay, well that's a lot higher than I thought it was. Okay,
mm-hmm.
and that is up. It's up significantly from where it's been.
That's football, though.
That's football.
Okay, well then that is high.
I mean, I have a dream of going to see a football. I want to go to a football stadium and see an actual NFL game.
But it took a long time for them to get to 47%, though.
You probably do better to go to see a New York Giants game because they get him fucking tickets away.
Damn.
Well, you don't want to go to a Dallas game. You might catch something.
Probably a case.
Or disease.
Cool.
Chad said his wife played and don't want to watch the WNBA.
Why not? That's interesting.
We have to revisit this conversation. This is an interesting.
I would just tell you, I want to see them have equal whatever. I want them to have equal pay, equal benefits. I want them to
watch the games.
But for me, I don't want to see a bunch of titties jumping all around like that. I'd rather see men's basketball.
What's wrong with the? They don't jump around, Mama. No, they ain't.
I don't.
They have them strapped down.
They got them strapped
They don't make them jump.
Yeah,
Ain't
not
nobody smacking
everybody.
the face or
Not
nothing.
everybody's strapping down.
They are strapping down.
And you know, I don't.
That's
don't
so
ignore it.
sexist.
Don't ignore
I
what
just heard
Tyree said.
I just
Don't
heard
ignore what Tyree said. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ignore what Tyree
Just because she said you're right, I'm not putting that shit up.
That's why you up here talking about don't ignore it because she said you're right.
Let's move on. He's just talking about that BS.
She said again.
She's talking about that BS cowboy statement you made. Ain't nobody right about that.
She could have said again and again and again.
They do. You're right. I own some. I own sports bras like that as well. I'm just saying. I just I played and that was it, and I moved on.
I'm not very fond of some sports bras because it's like they're trying to be flat chested. That's just
no. They just don't want all that jiggling.
They're trying to keep you from stuff jumping all around and stuff. You just like now you distracted. You like I can't watch her dribble the ball.
No, it's not even the distraction. It's probably painful to have something jiggling and bouncing in your face. Yeah.
But Mama, do you watch tennis?
I watch it from time to time, but it's not something I tune into. But then I am a peculiar individual.
But
I really love Serena.
But don't the titties bounce around in tennis?
I don't see a lot of it when I see Serena play.
I don't know how you don't see it when Serena play.
That's because you know the way you looking and the way I'm looking at two different things. I appreciate Serena because you know her with them big thighs and stuff. Usually, women with the big thighs always get written off, and she has found a way to make it where I can talk to my daughters and say, "See, look, Serena Williams is physically fit, and she's got the big thighs, and it's all right to have big thighs."
But the WNBA is the same way.
They have big thighs in WNBA. You can have the same conversation.
But they got them basketball shorts on. Don't nobody see all that.
So you want the thighs to be shown?
I don't think that's why Mama Noise don't want to watch WNBA. I don't think she's being straightforward with it. I know y'all gonna quit trying to jam me up. I think there's another reason, but she don't.
Thank you for watching Talkin Noise Daily.
Now she's trying to shut down the whole program.
Always trying to want to be messing with me.
You want to be starting something. You got to be starting something.
I look every show now. I'm gonna bring up a picture of a lady from WNBA with thick thighs so you can see who they are.
There you go. Tara, why I appreciate you defending Mama Noise, but that doesn't help her argument because the fact that she doesn't like the WNBA and there are many women who feel exactly how she feels, they want them to have fair compensation. Well, fair compensation goes in alignment with support. You gotta watch the games. You gotta go to the games.
Why don't you like WNBA, Mama Noise?
I already said that.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. You did, black man. You heard me.
You actually didn't say it, but it's fine.
You know what, Lord?
This is an opinion show. You're not going to give your opinion on the show?
I already gave my opinion.
What did you say?
She don't want to see all that shit flapping in the big shorts.
I'm just saying, I don't want to see a bunch of chicks run up and down there. I'd rather see some men's basketball. That's what I said. And I don't understand why I'm getting ostracized.
You're not being ostracized. You stop
No, she really don't. I'm just saying that's the way I feel. Why I got to be getting the business.
That's her preference.
Now Tara waffling. Now y'all got Tara waffling. It's like I love everyone, but I don't fool with everyone. Yet I want everyone to be blessed. Y'all full of it, both of y'all.
And explains the revenue issue we have here.
There it is. There it is.
Is it because you think basketball is a masculine sport?
Well, I played. I'm not masculine, but I mean, I had to wear the same stuff that they were wearing at that time. And with the shoes with the high tops and all that stuff, I had to wear that, even though I was challenging. But I mean, I did. But I mean, I went to the women's basketball games growing up because my sister played, and then that was it. You know, it was like, okay.
Can a woman look feminine in high top tennis shoes?
They do it all the time.
Do they?
You clearly don't watch WNBA. You really don't watch it. Some beautiful women in the WNBA.
You clearly don't go outside.
2 of us on here said yes, and 2 of us on here said, really?
Have y'all not been outside? They wear high top shoes with sundresses. What are you talking about?
The what? Mm-hmm. Okay.
They wear high top shoes like men wear shoes now.
But what does that have to do? What does the femininity of the woman have to do with the skill?
I do agree, Ron. You are correct. They are wearing tennis shoes with skirts and different things now. That is a fashion thing.
Well, I will say one thing. I do not like and have not ever liked when men playing basketball and they got who started to slap you on the backside in order to say good game? Why you can't just say good game?
I don't know. You're taking it too far right now. You're taking it way too far.
I'm not sure where you're going with that one, Mama.
I'm just saying, I don't understand it. So I was like, you know, if you act like you're ready to swap me on my bottle, I already got my fist balled up and say it's going down basement.
Oh my God. And that's why you set your ass on the bench. That's why.
I'm just saying.
Don't say anymore. Don't say anymore, Mama. You said can women wear tennis shoes and look sexy? Is that what I heard you say?
No, I said high tops.
High tops. Okay. Well, let's see, shall we? As we get ready, as we hasten to a close, I'll just put up a couple of examples and see if this works or not. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Work for me.
I don't know what you just sent me. I'm scared.
For real.
I'm nervous. Right, I mean nervous. I'm nervous. Let's see. There's one example.
These are what the?
See our high tops.
You know, I blame Jay for all of this.
I'm just trying to.
So I'm gonna say yeah.
So now, was that enough to convince you? Was that enough?
Did I say sexy or feminine? I mean feminine, right?
Either one is fine.
Either one.
That was a sexy picture. I'm just talking about a regular woman standing up, walking down the street with basketball shoes on.
Okay.
Hot tops. I mean, you show you damn near showing crotch there.
Right.
That's always sexy. You can't compare that.
And that's just a classic. That's a classic.
That was unfair.
So a regular woman just walking down the street.
Yeah.
You said that's what I heard you say. Is that what I'm hearing?
You can't show me the ass and the poo-poo.
I'm not. I'm gonna show you a regular woman.
I know one thing. When he does show it to you, you all of a sudden get quiet.
Let me see if I can find a regular woman walking down the street.
I'm not sure what you're trying to say about that statement. I mean, what you want me to do?
I'm saying you can't even show you the invitation to White Organist baby shower without you put that back up one more time.
I can't talk and focus. I have to be quiet in order to focus.
Sure. Whatever you say, Reverend.
Hold on. We trying to build a case here for Cuz so that he can feel better about himself.
I don't think he has no problem.
I got no issues.
No.
Well, better in the sense of supporting these women's.
The woman's.
I believe in supporting women. I just don't like basketball.
Okay. We offer three other.
You search it, you can't even find one.
No, I'm not searching. No, it's not the searching. It's just I'm downloading.
They all look like boys in the hood. Always
No, that's not true.
Talking that shit gonna pull your car.
Wow. Wow. First of all, shout out to
yeah,
you
you knew the song.
For the NWA reference. Didn't even know that was in you.
That's old school. I know.
It is old school. It is old school. You did good. I'm very proud of you, actually. What's happening next week? Shorts and tennis shoes next weekend. What's happening next weekend, Tar?
Next weekend.
Hey, everybody's getting out in the park now. Greeks is out in the park.
Everybody's going out. So there's some tennis shoes. She got on Jordans and a purse.
Sexy poses and pictures.
No, I'm not. I'm showing you tennis shoes. Okay, here's a WNBA player showing up for the game. She played for the New York Liberty.
You can't show a midriff and then I'm gonna say it's not feminine. I mean, damn.
Okay.
Now you're talking different. See. Now you
Does she look feminine?
Not ass. No, not with those big bulky ass shoes on. Not in my opinion.
Woo, clearly he does not like big shoes.
You are really, really.
Not on the female. I just don't. I don't personally. That's not to discount them.
So you want all of them in low tops, and then you can show up to the game. Is that what you said? They just out here breaking ankles to satisfy you, snapping ankles in two just to make you happy.
Hey.
We gotta get out of here. Y'all pull back up tomorrow. We're gonna have another great show. It's Talk That Tuesday. Do black people play the victim too much? Are black people truly victims? Those are our two questions for Talk That Tuesday. Should be a good show. Should be a really good show. Until then, that might be real. You know what, Tara? To be honest with you, that may be where all of this is. Maybe he just thinks the women in the WNBA just got big ass feet and he don't like it.
My wife wears a size 11.
Oh yeah, well, you just don't want big fitted women no more. That's
He's married to one.
I don't mind big feet.
Clearly,
I have an opinion about big feet and women.
Nope.
And that's our show.
Thank you so much. God bless you and good night.
Ooh, man, that escalated quickly. I didn't see that.
Y'all don't want to hear what I gotta say.
No, go ahead. I want to hear your theory.
Well, I'm out.
And you fell for it.
Even Tar.
I want to hear your theory.
Even Tar said nope. And Tar said,
I want to hear your theory. Oh, we ran out of time. Sorry about that, cuz. Hey, man, we'll get your theory tomorrow. God bless each and every one of you. We appreciate